wanna know ya, yeah, what?
I don't know if I should be scared or if I should just say, hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 10. Oh, my God. I might have to.
It's a cheap Halloween outfit. Take it away, Brandon.
I didn't know it was you. Welcome to episode 10 of Long Timmy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sean Spears. No, couldn't make it. All right, I tried.
No, he didn't make it. He's out. We do have the chair, but not the chairman. We are all the way. Thank you. At only Jeremy gets that joke. Well, he's on Wrestling Fan, but he gets half that joke. So we are on episode 10 of Long Time First Time.
I never thought we'd make it this far.
Neither do I. But here we are, episode 10. Jordan, how do you feel on this anniversary of sorts? It's anniversary week for me, so of course I got to celebrate my most important anniversary. She just left, so I can say that. Anniversary of Long Time First Time.
She knows deep down that I'm the real number one.
10 episodes.
No, it's been fun. We've had some fun guests. We've had some weird moments, some great moments, and I can't wait to keep doing it. Again, if you don't know the gimmick here, nothing special. We're going to talk movies. If you've seen a movie this week, join us here. You see the link right there at the bottom. You can see the link also in the chat ski here. You can click that link, follow us here, and join us. Talk about a movie you've seen recently. Happy anniversary. Brandon says Brian Nussbaum. And you're going to talk about a movie that you saw. It doesn't have to purposely actually don't want a new release movie. So I don't want to hear nothing about The Wild Robot or Terrifier 3, especially because I'm going to see it tomorrow. But we want to hear about slightly older movies here. It could just be about a year old. Join us and talk about a movie. Brandon, what's the first movie, though, you want to talk about this week?
Well, I promise you I will not talk about Terrifier 3. But I will talk about Terrifier 1. I watched Terrifier 1 yesterday for the first time. A maniacal clown named Art terrorizes 3 young women on Halloween night and everyone else who stands in his way. It sounds like there's a story in this movie based off of that, but there is not a story to this movie. I went in knowing, I know that there's 3 of them now, and the 4th one kind of. And I know that 2 is really good, that's from what I've read. But I was still excited to see 1. You know, everyone's talking about him. I wanted to get involved too. I get why people are talking about these movies. This one, not great. You know, enjoyable at times. It's also 85 minutes and felt like it was 2 hours. That was kind of interesting. Very slow, but when it picks up big time. Acting as whatever it's worth. There's some weird moments that they never explain, like this weird lady who lives in this building, and then has this weird doll as a baby. There's the opening scene where the talk show, which they kind of explain, but they didn't fully explain why that happened exactly the way that happened. But that's not what this movie's about. This movie is just about the kills. And for I don't know how much this movie cost. But what's that?
$12.50.
$35,000. And this movie looks better than a lot. I don't know how much Kilroy was here cost, but this movie looks a hell of a lot better than Kilroy does.
That one actually was $12.
Maybe. But yeah, this movie, my pocket's blowing up. Didn't cost much to make, but it looks really good. The gore I thought was fantastic. Art is terrifying, and he does a really good job with not talking and just facial expressions. They do a really good job of shock value. Definitely has that shock value, and that's what this movie relies on, that shock value. Without that, it's just a nothing movie. But there's definitely some crazy scenes. It gave, for those of you who've seen this, it gives kind of a callback to the first episode of Long Time First Time. This gives Bone Tomahawk a run for its money with a wishbone scene. So I think every 10 episodes, I have to watch someone get split down the middle. So we'll see. If you have any recommendations for wishbone scenes, send them my way. I will maybe watch them. I will see 3 eventually. I'm gonna watch 2, so maybe I'll watch 2 next week. We'll see where that's at. I've heard we get even better. We get a little bit more of a story. And we get, the gore gets refined even more and even more shocking. So I'm excited for that. Thought this was a decent movie.
You're starting to like zone it out a little bit.
I'm here.
There you go.
I'm stuck between like a 2.5 and a 3. I enjoyed parts of it, but I thought it was still like lacking enough to make it like worthwhile. I'm giving it a 2.5.
Good.
Yeah. Didn't hate it. Definitely like the best 2.5 I've rated on the show, probably. Just I couldn't quite get it to the 3 because it's like the characters weren't very memorable besides art. There were some weird things in there. When it wasn't like super bloody, it was kind of boring at certain parts, but overall, it's pretty impressive for what it is. But I'm excited to see like them do a little bit more with it in the next one, from what I've heard.
Yeah, no, I'm even a little bit more lower than you are. I believe I'm at a 2 for it personally. The characters is where you lose me here. I mean, they even do a weird kind of like they switch to another character like halfway through. It's like, okay, I'm not supposed to give a shit about her. Like,
they do a final. They do a final girl in the beginning.
Non-final girl. Yeah. So that's very jarring to me. And then it just became kind of repetitive. And if you thought this was long, my friend, 2 is where nobody told him to cut it, because 2 is over 2.5 hours. I think it's all right. It's around that.
5.
No, the second one's long, and you feel the length of the second one here. So there's memorable moments, and like I'll see the third one with a smile on my face, but they're not ones that I ever like overrate about here. So I'm not too far from you. Chris, you ever see Terrifier 1?
No, because
Brian, you ever seen Terrifier 1?
I'm not a horror guy, so
No chance.
Because why, Chris?
I don't have a stomach for that type of thing.
All right, that's fair enough. Yeah, it's going for the gore. It's going for the shock value. It's going for, as he said, the Bone Tomahawk things. The thing with Bone Tomahawk is it's also surrounded by Kurt Russell and Matthew Fox and like really good actors.
A story.
It's
earned.
The gore is what you're going in for. You know what I mean? Which is fine.
Bone Tomahawk.
I can never. Yeah, you know, man. 2 is just a slightly better budget. You know, maybe better acting. Maybe I don't know. And it does have Chris Jericho in it. So,
he's in 2.
Yeah, how long is 2?
218.
218. So yeah, not 2.5, but it is over 2, and you do definitely feel it too. Like there's we'll get to it when we review it. We'll talk then. Chris, what did you see this week though?
You know what? I'm paying back to last week, but technically I watched it later in the week. I want another movie with body shot. I want Freaky for the first time. Freaky horror movie.
Okay.
Yeah, because I become Malkovich of a body swap movie, so I will watch see a few that I've never seen before. With being John Malkovich and now Freaky. I like Freaky. Yeah. I don't love it as much as Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day to You. Like I like that for Christopher Landon more. But it's very funny. Vince Vaughn definitely is the highlight of the movie. Like him acting like a teenage girl is like some of the most funniest shit in the movie that made me laugh so hard. The scene with the pretended boyfriend in the car is probably the most funniest scene in the movie. But it's Captain Newton I've been becoming a big fan of more often. I think it's funny, it's crazy. I think the ending go on a little bit too long. I think they could have easily ended at a certain point. I don't like the tight-end ending. I'd be a little careful if anybody haven't seen it. But I thought it was a good laugh. The best friend was pretty funny. Especially the gay best friend made me laugh a couple of times. Yeah, I give it a 3.5 out of 5.
No, that's pretty fair. Now, I'm a fan of this movie here. This might be my favorite Christopher Landon film. I enjoyed the first Happy Death Day to a pretty large degree. I like the premise, but this one I think might be the. This one actually has some good gore on top of a couple characters you care about here. Vince Vaughn's very funny. Noon's good. So yeah, I enjoyed this Body Swap movie a decent amount. What about you, Brandon? You ever seen Freaky? What do you think?
I like this movie. I mean, I've only seen it once. I watched it after I knew that it was good. It's one of those movies that you see the trailer and you're like, this is just going to be terrible. Like it just has all the making. Like a random Vince Vaughn, who was kind of, he's back. I feel like he's back now, but like at this time, he's kind of like, where's Vince Vaughn been? And he pops up in this, and you're just like, okay, this is going to be bad. Like there's no way this is good, and it is. It's a lot of fun. They do a really good job here, and it's just one of those movies that you just don't expect to be good, but it's pleasantly enjoyable for what it is. It's like you can't be too critical with a movie like this. It's like Vince Vaughn body snap. Vince Vaughn is a serial killer body swapping with a girl. Like it's you get what you get, and it's pretty enjoyable.
Brian, you ever seen Freaky?
It's a blind spot for me.
Cool.
Nice.
Wow.
Wow.
Check it out now. Decent reviews are all around for Freaky, so check it out. Brian might not have seen Freaky, but what did you see, Brian?
I saw one of the biggest sad blind spots today, Wait Over Me, if I saw that one. As this came on Netflix for me, I decided to watch it for our best to worst ranking on Saturday. For me, I really do enjoy. I love the chemistry between Don Cheadle and Adam Sandler's relationship in the film. Him suffering from PTSD. So I love the song choices they used for the film. It's a bit long, but I would cut out a little bit, especially the whole subplot with the patient suing John Cheadle's character. But overall, I enjoyed it a lot.
What do you give it?
I gave it a 4.
Nah, that's fair. I like that. I might be a little bit lower. It might have been a 3.5 because I do think the plot, the script makes some kind of odd decisions at points. But I do think there is a really great performance by Adam Sandler here again. This is a different character that you've seen him play and almost anything else, including his even dramatic work as well. It kind of helps show his range here. I enjoyed the interplay between him and Don Cheadle. There's just some really good moments here. I really enjoy. There's a scene where he talks to his ex-wife's parents. You know what I mean? Because he tells them of how he sees them, even the damn dog he sees every day. And I think he does a really good job. He's just someone that is having a tough time getting back to normalcy. Brandon, you ever seen Reign Over Me?
I've not seen this movie. I've been
wait, I didn't mean to put you out.
I've never seen this. I've heard Sandler's good in this. I want to see more. On this show, I'm cleaning up my Kevin Smith. Only had a couple. I'm sure hosting this with Jordan and having Brian pop on all the time. I'll be eventually, because we're going to do 1,000 more of these, eventually clean up my Sandler. So I'll get to this eventually someday.
It's my
I do. I would like to hear your opinion on it too. Yeah, because it's a definitely watchable, interesting movie here. Now it's time for my turn, comes to we have your weekly whole fill. We should have JPO's weekly what movie?
Trash movie.
Ever heard of this? Ever heard of What Comes Around?
No.
I know.
I haven't heard of any of your movies.
But I have. I have seen films What Comes Around here. So a young girl, I want to say she's 16, 17, falls for an older kid about 10 years. Kyle Gallner, if you know who Kyle Gallner is, you'll see him here in a second. Really good actor here. Probably the best part of this movie easily is Kyle Gallner's performance here of these two kind of falling for each other here. He actually shows up at her doorstep. She's very trepidatious at first, but again, he just seems very charming and willing to take it slow at first. And finally, they fall in love. They want to tell her parents, and her parents are very against it, particularly the mom. And then there's some twists and turns here that makes the plot even different than what I just said here. So I don't want to necessarily give away some of the twists that are coming up in this movie here. But unfortunately, I don't know. I kind of like the more straightforward approach. I think once it got twisty here, it just didn't necessarily know what to do with it. It's very a slow burn that ends up not really burning much at all. If that makes sense, like you know what I mean. Just like I felt this one actually felt kind of short to me. Kind of felt like okay, a initial premise here, good enough setup, and then finally once you get to the end, it kind of ends a little bit on a whimper here. I also don't know if I loved the acting of the mother character here out of the daughter, and then Gardner do really good. But there just wasn't enough meat on the bone for me to give it too much here. A couple interesting moments here, but overall, kind of a pass. I have to just give it 2 even stars for what comes around. Currently on
Wait, the
Hulu.
trailer just said unmissable.
You can miss it. I disagree with whoever that was.
Okay. Interesting.
Disagree.
Look,
Ever seen What Comes Around?
I have not. Shout out.
You haven't. Nobody has. But what have you seen?
Oh, hey, I'm doing good. I've seen a couple of things, so I'll do the one pair. I saw 21 and 22 Jump Street.
yeah.
For the first time. And I was going to leave it, but I remember Brandon specifically wanted to talk about it, so I couldn't leave this one off. We'll get to some other things later. But we can bunch these two together because obviously they're a paired duology and they came out long enough ago that we can talk about them. I feel like the first is the stronger overall film of the two. But I had also mentioned this. I think the best jokes are in the second one between the entirety of Schmidt fucking the captain's daughter, like just them at the fucking lunch scene together, and then obviously Schmidt fucked the captain's daughter is hilarious. My name is Jeff as a concept is golden.
My name is Jeff.
My name is Jeff.
Have you heard that before you saw this?
What's that?
Have you heard My Name Jeff? Before?
Yeah, that one I've been familiar with. And actually, we had done, like, right when we first started doing watch-alongs in the community, there was a watch-along of 22 Jump Street, but I was, like, passing out at the time. I'm pretty sure it was actually in the drinking days, so...
I was actually going to say, I thought we watched it together, to be honest with you, because I was there.
Yeah, and I might have been there, but not also. Like, I don't really remember the exact details of it. I know I didn't finish the whole movie, though, that's for sure. But yeah, these things are hilarious. Depp showing up in the first one is gold. Everything of it, like, yeah, these movies work, man. They're comedy gold. Probably 4.5 and 4, maybe, or maybe both 4.5, maybe both 4 in that territory. Let's call them 4.5.
Yeah, what? Okay, thank you.
You put 4.5-ish.
Yeah, because I'm feeling nice, like, so. Yeah,
no, I perfectly agree with you. That I think 21 is a stronger movie, but I think 22 might be funnier. I have them both at like 4.5 stars on some days, maybe even 5 stars. I love these movies so much. I think they're perfect. Another one of those movies where you're like, is this going to be good? And then I saw both in the theaters and an amazing theater, like still like maybe the last like theater experience I had, like opening weekend, packed theater of people like laughing. And we haven't got that in so long of just like a packed theater of a comedy of just everyone just laughing and enjoying themselves. So that's why I hold these movies to high regard, because I have those memories.
You know,
his office is shaped like a cube of ice got me more than it had any business getting me. That's so stupid funny.
You mentioned before about Vince Vaughn and whatnot. That kind of reminds me of this. Like the build up to this was kind of like, yeah, the 21 Jump Street. All right, I mean, Jonah Hill's kind of funny, so that's good. Channing Tatum, I feel like, had been kind of unproven at this point as far as like a comedic leading man. So it wasn't necessarily like a huge hype, and then you just knew, the reviews and everything, the word of mouth started coming out that they knew what they were making here from the get go. And it's really great. The chemistry is here. It's a lot of fun. Even the sequel, as you mentioned, just while it's a bit of a retread, it's still continuously very funny. One of the greatest ending sequences as well, where they show you all the future sequels, merchandise that they could have done. Yeah, a lot of fun with these two. They're both extremely rewatchable too. Like these movies that easily on, even right now. And I don't know how long it's been since I've seen both. Maybe 6 months from 21, maybe a year and a half from 22. But I would still watch both. I might even watch 22 because I feel like it's been a minute. So yeah, they're both really good here. So yeah, I too probably 4.5 and maybe 4, but really 4.5 for both. I'll agree with as well.
What a great weekend it was. That was too long for me to read. With 22 back
Dragon Dragon. Dragon.
Hey.
Brandon, what else did you see this week?
All right, I'm gonna test your skills. Oh, the Dodgers scored 3. I'm missing the game, but it's 5-2.
Oh no, sports.
No, they're crushing. We're good. All right, I'm gonna test your
sports.
I'm gonna test your skills of your trailer skills. Okay, I watched Scream. Scream.
Is it the 20? What is the 5th one? Is that what you're saying?
I watched Scream 5.
Okay.
I watched Scream. I watched Scream 5. It's 5. Yeah, 5. I watched Scream 5. Been wanting to watch it for a long time. Kind of become almost a whole at this point because I've heard such good things about the requels. But really, really great movie. They're all the same movie, but I feel like this one just does.
I'm calling it Scream 5 by the way on the banner. Because fuck that.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Hey, technically on my letterbox it says Scream, so I'm just saying. And they even mentioned, but like the fact that like we're having this conversation is part of the joke, because they even mention it in the movie. Like, oh, they call it the same thing. They don't even put 5 or it was stab. Like, why it's stab 8. Call it stab 8, not just stab. So they even cover that in the movie. They do a really good job of parodying these without being a parodies. Like you could almost call these parody movies, but they're not quite. This one does such a good job of like jumping.
Hey, Kyle Gallner.
Yeah, when he saw that, I was like, wait, I've seen this guy before. Yeah, he's the first victim. First victim. Just does spoilers. Just does a really good job of like. It's the same movie you love. They're all basically kind of the same thing, very similar, but it does enough to keep it interesting. There's some interesting kills, nothing like crazy over the top, but the commentary on horror movies and the movie industry, the film industry, is just top notch. It's become one of my favorite ones. I've only seen them all like once, I think, so I don't have enough information to really make a proper rankings, but I would have it near the top, maybe 1, 2, and then 3, or 1, 2, then 5. If I had to do it just off the top of my head, I would need to revisit them though. I remember really liking 1 and 2.
1, 2, 5, 6, 3, 4. There you go.
That sounds about right for me with the, obviously I haven't seen 6 yet. But again, next week might be just a retread of this week with just another number attached to these 2 movies I've seen. But yeah, I like this movie a lot. I thought it was very enjoyable. I give it 4 stars. Very solid. Easily could have been bad. Easily could have just been like a cash grab. Easily could have been a lot of these things. But it really seems like these Radio Silence guys like have love for the like they even say like at the end they say for Wes, and it really does feel like this was made for Wes. Just does a really good job of like they didn't just requel this just to make money. There's definitely some other movies and requels that have just, and they talk about it, Chucky and other things like that, that just kind of take the name just to make money, but this doesn't feel like that at all. It felt like a love letter to the franchise at Scream and a love letter to horror movies as well. So just like the first one did. So really enjoyed this movie. 4 stars.
Yeah,
4.
no, I'm at a 4 as well. I really like this a lot. As much as I love Wes Craven, obviously, this is my horror franchise. I think every one of them is good. There's not a stinker in the bunch. Unlike Halloween and Freddy and Jason, there's no stinker in the bunch of Scream, in my opinion. And I really kind of like, not to help this doesn't sound blasphemous, I enjoyed the fact that we got a slightly different eyes with this, with Radio Silence here. I think they brought up kind of a bit of enough freshness and enough love and nostalgia to where I thought it really, really worked here. Some of the core members that you see return for Scream 6 are really good here. A couple interesting things. I love to see what you say on 6, and then we can talk a little bit more here. Tate, I feel like you finished your Scream watches. Yes, no?
Yeah. I saw Scream 6 in theater after not having seen Scream 5 in winning that Jenna Ortega debate. I dig the franchise. I agree with your rankings, other than the fact that, of course, Jay and Silent Bob pop up in 3, making it the best. That's just solid logic. But yeah, fantastic franchise. As for Chris Diaz's comment, I cannot wait for the sequel to Abigail Cadavergale.
Everywhere.
Yeah,
But you like Scream 5? You like Scream 5? Do you like the fifth
I
one?
do.
You see the fifth one?
Yep.
Okay, good. Richie, you ever seen
Hey.
Scream 5?
Yeah, I have. It's really good. Great. I mean, I don't like it as much as a lot of the other ones. It's probably a second least favorite, but it's good.
What was your score, by the way? I don't remember, Brandon.
4 stars.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Then I agree with you, I think. Hey, what did you see, though, Richie?
Yeah, quickly because I'm supposed to be on the show.
Yeah, me too.
There's a movie coming out this week. I don't know if it's coming out. I'll try and the camera. Hang on.
Jesus Christ.
What am I doing, John? Yeah, I'm smiling. There you go. There you go. I saw Smile. There you go. I needed to watch the first one because I hadn't seen it. So yeah, and I liked it. I think it felt like kind of obviously it's borrowing elements from the horror movies, but it felt kind of more original than we used to getting, and I'm glad it's sort of achieving success because people like Hollywood kind of that people say Hollywood's run out of ideas, and I don't know if that's true. But yeah, I think this is kind of a argument against that. So yeah, I liked it. I think it was creepy. The main person in that who's best known for being her starring role as a Kevin Bacon and Kira Sedgwick's daughter. So I can't even remember her name.
That's exactly like both of them. I didn't realize that.
Sosie Bacon. She's good. Cal Penn's in this as a doctor because I think he's being like maybe typecast at this point. As well. But it's really good, really creepy. I think at the end of the day, I think I gave it 4 stars, and I'm looking forward to the. That's right. I'm looking forward to
Cal Gellner. Cal Gellner,
Is he
3
really in
tonight.
3? Wow.
Yeah.
Good for him.
He's the only. I think he's the only one. I mean, I shouldn't spoil it, but yeah, he comes back in the second. He comes back in the second one. So I was wondering. Yeah, it's like
I don't want to know.
okay. All right. That's fine. 4 stars. There you go. I'll see you.
I just don't want anything more. I'm seeing tomorrow. I'm seeing a Smile and Terrifier double Pete. So I get some scares at the theater tomorrow. So that's week.
Oh man, I haven't seen Smile 2 yet, so I can't really give you huge spoilers. But yeah, just like saying. But anyway, but yeah.
No, I guess knowing the first one, like obviously I know he could be in it. So, this was a big pleasant surprise. I didn't necessarily like this trailer. I think maybe just because I had Truth or Dare vibes. Remember that shitty movie, Truth or Dare? And that one was also like really smiley and bad. So I was like, all right, Smile, they're gonna drag this out for fucking 2 hours. It works. It's really good. It's pretty well done. I dug it. I want to say this is the same year as like Barbarian and a couple other really good horror films. Like it was a good year for horror. Brandon, did you ever see Smile?
No, I've not seen this. I've not seen this.
Here's the audition for Smile 3.
I like it. I've not seen this, but top notch. Some of the all-time greatest guerrilla marketing was for the first one, and they've tried it again for the second one. Like planting
Tato,
people.
you okay? Tato, okay.
But planting people behind like home plate at really important playoff baseball games, just locked in a smile, has been amazing. They did that last
I didn't even know that.
They did it for the first one. They like literally just had him just stuck behind home plate smiling, and went viral. Like it was so creepy. And then they did it again the other day, but then a foul ball went into the fence, and one of the guys went like that, and one of the girls just stayed locked in. So it was pretty impressive. So great marketing for these. Have not seen it.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Tato, have you seen Smile?
I have seen neither of the films, but I did. I'm familiar with the baseball marketing of it all, of course.
Yeah, you would know the sports part, wouldn't you? Chris, have you seen Smile?
Yes, I've seen Smile when it came out and seen it. Loved it.
Sweet,
I
good
like
movie.
that.
Hey, speaking of movies that aren't that great, though, we're back to mine. We're watching The Tutor this week here, everybody. Garrett Hedlund, who I'm a Garrett Hedlund fan. He is he makes money by going to these, rich kids' houses and tutoring them, throughout the state. And gets a really interesting new case here. Has a new student he's teaching in it, Noah Schnapp, who, tells him about, how his mother left, this, that, and the other. Maybe he finds out that maybe that's not all totally true, is what he's saying here. Obviously, a disturbed kid. I also call this, it's the kind of movie where it's like, if Garrett Hedlund just hadn't been a dick, there'd be no movie. Because the reason the kid starts to, kind of lash out and go after him is because he is kind of a jerk. Just don't be a dick, people, and you won't be tortured by crazy people. Just like, though, but even in a worse way to a degree of what comes around. What I just said is not fully the movie. There is, again, some twists and turns here that not only I think are unearned in this case, but also kind of neglect the first entire half of the movie here. I can get into spoilers off air with you because, again, I'm not recommending this movie, Brandon, so I can give you more spoilers if you want to know. But yeah, it ends up. Anyone will care about the tutor?
Yeah, who gives a shit?
You end up finding out that, like, this guy might have killed this guy's mother, and he's actually maybe is a bad guy, and then all of a sudden he is a bad guy, and it negates the fact that he's been tortured for the first hour. You're like, oh, he was a bad guy, and he did deserve it. And now,
so Garrett Hedlund was bad all along?
Yeah, evidently, yeah, which they showed no signs of until the very end. And it was just a twist for sake, you know what I'm saying? It didn't work for me as well. I liked Hedlund in it. I was with it for a little while here, so I'll give it 2 because it's at least in frame, but nothing much more than that. I did not like this much. Tate, ever seen The Tutor?
What's a twist? No, I haven't. I got one. Whenever the time comes around,
Brandon, what else you see?
I'm implementing a new rule. If we're under 3 stars, we're allowed to spoil it.
Oh God. Okay. No,
It's a
then I
bad
gotta spoil every
movie.
movie I watch. I don't want to spoil everything.
So I have some bad news, though. Unfortunately, I was not able to get a Hole of the Week. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
But I was able to get another horror movie in. Does that count?
Okay.
3 horror movies?
Okay.
I went with a movie. This is kind of a hole. I watched it, recently. It came out a couple years ago, and people were raving about it then. So we can call it a hole. It's called a hole fill.
No.
I watched The Menu. Watched The Menu with Anya Taylor-Joy, Ray Fiennes, and Nicholas Hoult. And this is not really marketed as one, but you can definitely call this movie a horror movie. It's terrifying in different ways. I definitely know people like Nicholas Hoult. I've seen people on social media like Nicholas Hoult. I live in LA, so I've definitely seen menus and restaurants like this where you have it's just completely ridiculous. And he's just like, oh my God, this is so good. And she's just like, can I just get a regular, just regular food? It's so much better just being regular. And it's just overly ridiculous. But it really is gripping at the same time. I love these. And we've talked about these single location movies. This isn't really a single location movie. It kind of is. Most of it takes place in the restaurant, I would say. So I would call this a single location movie. Love those, but just love the twists and turns and just the ramping up the ridiculousness and kind of the reveal pretty early on that this night is not going to go the way you thought it was. The trailer does a really good job of it's going to go wrong, but you don't really know how it's going to go wrong based off the trailer. I was thinking oh, they're going to eat human being, or they're going to eat like something's going to be weird, but the reveal, there's the reveal of how it goes wrong and just the over the top nature that they take it because they love the food is just ridiculous, but really a good watch, a fun watch, a horrifying watch in different ways. I love, she's like, I just want a cheeseburger at the end. She's like, yeah, it's good. Can I have and then it's just, I really, really enjoyed this movie, and it's just a pleasure to watch. You hate some of the characters, you like some of the characters, and it's just a good old watch. And I really like this movie, so I give it a 4 stars.
Yeah, this movie
No.
is dope. I might even be higher than you. I might even be at a 4.5. I really one enjoyed the fantastic performances here. Continually kind of guessing to what's going on.
Yeah.
Interesting, wacky ending that I know some people are kind of divisive on, but I just go with it because I just love weird, different shit.
Yeah, I love weird shit.
Tato, I think you've seen the menu. What'd you think of the menu?
Yeah, I'm super high on this one. I dug it. I thought Ray Fiennes was gonna get get an Oscar nod for sure. That one didn't. That one not shaking out was definitely a surprise to me that year. I do love how Brandon instituted a rule of no of spoilers as long as it's under 3 stars, and then just blew the end of the menu, which he gave 4 stars immediately after.
I was vague.
Very, very
I
loosey goosey
Burger.
with the rules here. I saw the ending of a trilogy this week. I saw Dude Bro Party Massacre
I
3
saw this on your
this week.
Facebook.
And I too indeed finally recommend a movie this week. I'm recommending the hell out of this here. This is on Amazon Prime currently here. In case you're wondering, and if you're trying to find Dude Bro Party Massacre 1 and 2, they do not exist.
Yes,
But
I
don't
love
worry
that.
because this movie does recap the first two at the beginning of the movie here, including cameos by Donald Glover and Larry King. So that's great. It's a love homage to just shitty movies, horror movies from the 80s here, except instead of a bunch of sorority girls here, you get a lot of dudes, just roaming around the campus, getting murdered one by one here. It's even shot, as you can kind of tell, like as if someone. So the beginning of the movie it says, "We thought this movie was lost to time, but we finally found a copy that someone videotaped at 3 a.m. one night in the 80s. That is supposedly the only copy left of this movie. So it's
I like
even
that.
filmed like a VHS. And
Yeah.
one little detail that I really dug, as an old school guy that I filmed, I used to record so many movies off TV. If you weren't good enough, or if it was hard to tell on the channel, there'd always be snippets of commercials. Because by the time you hit pause and record again, you get snippets of the commercials. There's snippets of commercials in this throughout, which is, I think, it's kind of a great old school callback here. The only bad thing that brings me down a little bit on this movie too is that it wears out its welcome. The first hour, I think, really kind of hits it hard and heavy, and it's funny and it's moving along, and people getting killed in funny enough practical effects, unique ways. And then all of a sudden, it becomes a little all right, let's wrap up. You know what I mean? It reminded me of almost like a bad episode of Curb, where all of a sudden it was they're just yelling at each other, right? Or they're just doing the same trope we've seen now a couple times. So I thought it could have been maybe a little timed there here. Again, is the acting always the greatest? No, but it's probably not supposed to be. And it's also just very goofy too. You know what I mean? If someone goes through a car crash, they're not just crashing through the front windshield; they're going through the windshield over the lake in the moon, like E.T. You know what I mean? Or there's a character that's continually putting on new shirts just to rip them off in an emotional stance. It's just a very funny, wacky movie here.
So it's in parody.
Yeah, I think if we had watched this before, me, you, and Jeremy did top parodies, this could easily, I think, fit there. Yeah, I think so. So it's right below 4, because like I said, it does wear out its welcome. Not always the funniest thing, but I thought it was very watchable, very decently funny. 3.5 stars for Dude Bro Party Massacre 3, currently on Amazon Prime. Speaking of dudes, Tato, ever seen Dude Bro Party Massacre 3?
Oh yeah, man.
Eric, ever seen Dude Bro Party Massacre 3?
I have not, but I've heard of it.
Hey, sweet. What did you see?
I did see. I have a couple options. Do you want me to talk about the weirdest movie or the best movie?
Weird.
Weird.
So I saw. I was on a substance kick because I just saw it and I thought it was great. So I had to watch similar movies. So I finally watched Brian Yuzna's Society from 1989. Pretty cool movie. It's been referenced to alongside The Substance because kind of body horror, social themes, and all that. As you guess, they do live in a society in this movie. It's about a guy. It's a Marty McFly type. He's a smart kid, street smart, but he's like a brunette. He's what's his name? I don't remember his name, but he's the son of the actor who played Michael Myers in a couple of the first Halloween movies. and it's pretty well
Hey.
known as for its effects, and especially the practical effects is body horror. I don't want to spoil too much because I do recommend it a lot. It's a lot of fun. I don't know who I would say is somebody known. Like everybody is like from character actors from the 80s. I don't know if there's anyone I would add that's a standout, but everybody was great, especially the main kid. Billy Warlock is his name, I'm pretty sure. And it's pretty fun, like a conspiracy type, like everybody against him in the first time, and then once it gets to the main stuff, I don't even know how to explain it, but do watch it. It's a lot of fun. I gave it like a 3.5, closer to a 4 than a 3, but 3.5 because it's an 80s horror movie. You get what you get. Oh, that's a great scene. The one in the trailer.
Tongue scene?
I don't.
Your tongue got.
I vaguely even heard of this movie here, so this is a huge blind spot for me, Brendan.
No, I'm not a big body horror guy. I don't think. I haven't given it enough entry, but I don't feel like I'm gonna be a body horror guy. I'm a new Terrifier guy, so we'll see if I dabble into the body horror genre.
Have you seen the Substance?
I've not seen The Substance. Maybe I'll check it out.
Oh, check it
No,
out.
unfortunately, it didn't play near me. I definitely will once it's on VOD and whatnot. So, yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about that particular movie. Tato, you ever seen Society?
I have not.
But did you want to shout something else out, Tato?
Yeah, I will tell you what I have seen. I saw Dirty Work for the first time. Lovely comedy. Adam Sandler. He's very important to the film. I'm just Norm Macdonald and Artie Lang. Couple of guys who are Norm Macdonald and Artie Lang. There's not a vast stretch of character work for any of them or anything. It's kind of just a bunch of Norm bits strung together to make a movie with a bunch of great cameos. We see Rickles here doing Don Rickles, like laying into Artie Lang. It's hilarious. The movie is funny. It's not fantastic, like as far as movies go, but like just in the terms of Norm bits are hilarious. So a bunch of them strung together is hilarious. The pratfalls become a little bit excessive. Christopher McDonald is doing what Christopher McDonald always does. Artie is hilarious. But yeah, I finally got around to this one because it was free on YouTube. It was an hour 20 minutes, so that's an easy click on. Finally get it done because I have been meaning to see this movie forever because I do love Norm. Dave Keckner with Dead Hookers. They're full of dead hookers. Yeah, just revenge business. It's a solid, unique movie. Bit of a sad Farley appearance. In my opinion, here it's definitely not Chris Farley at his most hilarious. He's pretty close to gone, and you can kind of tell it's a bit of a bummer. And then also like Bob Saget directed the movie, who is gone. Norm being gone, so there are it is a little bittersweet in ways. Artie Lang, I had mentioned this joke, but yeah, who had Artie Lang being around with Norm and Bob gone? That one's just sometimes that's the way the Deadpool rolls. But yeah, Farley is still funny because he's Farley. This bit gold. Yeah, no, just a funny piece of work from these cats. I would go 3.5 stars. Like it might be closer to 3 in reality, but you definitely give it the half-star bump because you love those. You love all the people involved in it.
Yeah, I might be more of just admitting that it's a 3 here, but some things are truly laugh out loud, and there's really some moments that absolutely do work here. Ever seen Dirty Work, Brandon?
I have not. I've heard of this. I've never seen it. I don't know why I haven't seen it.
Give it a shot. Like Tato said, it seems like it's short enough. Evidently, it's free on the tubes, so I always say give it a shot. It's got, I'll tell you off air, one of my favorite jokes, because I don't want to talk about it on air. Eric, you ever seen Dirty Work?
Something good happened?
Ridiculous.
He loved it. Eric says he loved Dirty Work. Brandon, you got anything else? We're reaching the tail end of the show here.
I'm not. It's something very funny is happening. My wife is watching baseball, which never happens, and I am not. So she is giving me updates.
Whoa.
So, 17
Eric,
Dodgers.
ever seen Dirty Work?
I have not, but it's a business after this, if you want to, of course.
Yeah,
your.
we'll talk. We'll talk.
Okay,
We'll talk. We might have to wait till next week because I'm actually behind. We'll talk, Brendan. Don't worry about what just happened. We'll talk after. Anything else, Brendan?
I have nothing else. Jordan, do you have anything else? Should I wrap?
What? Hold on.
We should recap our movies.
Oh yeah, no, we're gonna get there. Tato, any plugs or parting words?
Lights Out Trivia Carnage tournament going on. We did have to postpone a match, unfortunately, last night, so that one is back in the ether. But we do have one on the sack on the 23rd, and I'm hoping to get that other one rescheduled to before the 23rd. Do have a computer capable of running the trivia, so that is awesome. There will be no delay. I had mentioned on the post, but yeah, check out the Lights Out Facebook group for any updates and stuff like that on that tournament. Thanks for having me.
Where's
Eric,
the
are you
music
here?
coming
Oh, that's my wrap it up music. Brendan, yeah. So we talked about some great movies here tonight. What did you talk about?
from? I don't know anymore. We talked about Terrifier 1. I thought Terrifier 2.5. I was like, what? Terrifier 1, liked it a little bit. Not very good. Scream 5, liked it a lot. And The Menu, also liked it a lot. Horror theme this week. Jordan?
Yeah, as for me, what comes around in the tutor, both in the 2-star territory here, there are things that I admired about it here. Count Governor's performance, Garrett Hedlund's performance here. But both movies felt they needed to be a twisty, pulpy film here that, especially for the tutor, even more so to a degree, I just felt it was unnecessary and then kind of undoes kind of what we just watched in the first half just to do a twist here. While Dude Bro Party Massacre 3 is a fun spoof of your 80s horror tropes and it's just super goofy and funny here and a decent time. So we're going to have some fun at home. Chris had some love for Freaky by Christopher Landon, giving that 3.5. Brian, really big score for Rain Over Me at 4.5 here. Loves him, The Sandman. Tato, this guy, watched 21 and 22 Jump Street, giving them high praise with 4.5. Only 1 star off was Dirty Work. Some love for our boys, Norm MacDonald and Bob Saget. Richie also gave a good review of Smile, 4 stars. Catch Smile 2 in theaters. Follow me on Letterboxd to catch my review of Smile 2. And Eric watched a creepy little film called Society with 3.5 stars. Brandon, before we go, anything else?
We should have just had Tato just sit in because he did as many movies as we did. So he should have just been the third chair on the show.
I mean, one of them was like, it's like, what if it were one 5-hour long movie?
There you go. Yeah, basically. I have nothing else to say. Gangnam Style is in the Fortnite shop, so I might go buy that. Shout out to Tato's like, oh, I gotta get some. And Moon Knight, so I might buy Moon Knight too, and Blade. So pretty cool day today on the Fortnite. Ooh, I like the Silver Surfer. I didn't get the Silver Surfer one. No, you can find me here, long time, first time. Find me on other shows around. You can find me and Jordan winning eventually in the next round in the Lights Out Trivia match.
Yeah.
Long time. You can catch me, Jordan, and Tato on Fortnite. We don't stream it, but you can watch it somewhere if you try hard enough. So if you can hack into our StreamYard, you can watch that. So yeah, shout out us.
All right, yes. Guess what? Stay tuned, guys. As I said, usually we're at 8 o'clock on Thursdays. So tune back in 8 o'clock at Thursday next week for more shenanigans here with us. Maybe these lovely people to the side here. Maybe Chris, maybe Brian. You never know who's going to pop in. But we love you more than you'll ever know. Good night.
Motherfuck.